What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Chris's Custom Collectibles, and today we're going to be pimping out the Jakks specific deluxe R2-D2 figure. We are going to be steampunking the shit out of this guy. Now, I kind of jumped the gun a little and I've gone ahead and taken him apart, and first and foremost that was because I had to take him apart to get him back from the United States. I got back this morning. I'm a little bit jet lagged, a little bit dazed, a little bit confused, but the show must go on and I got to get back to work. So first and foremost, we have to prime all the surfaces. Now, for majority of the body, I'm just going to be using the flat grey primer from Rust-Oleum. However, for the dome itself, I still want to keep this metallic finish, so we're going to be using a clear primer from Dulux. Although I am going to cover up some of these blue panels with a brass colored paint from Model Masters, I'll be doing that by hand. Once all the areas that have been hit with the grey primer have dried, we're then going to be hitting it with some metallic rose gold, also from Rust-Oleum. We're going to let this sit overnight because we do have to mask off some areas with tape, and it's better to have this stuff fully cured so you don't get thumbprints or the tape ripping the paint off altogether. This is going to be a really fun project, guys. It's wacky, it's silly, it's just over the top, but that's the fun of it, and I am excited because we've got some new weathering techniques coming up that involve patinas and aging and rusting this guy. So with that being said, let's get to it. So the next step is to do some hand painting, just little details, little panels. So I've got some chrome silver, I've got some brass colored paint, some copper colored paint. Now, the brass color I think is an acrylic. Yeah, it is an acrylic because it's a lot more watered down, a lot more thinner than these guys, which are enamels. So I will be using this as a wash to kind of get in all the detail and start the weathering process. Whereas these two are a solid color when hand painted on. So these are for doing, you know, little detail work that I can't really mask off, and spray paint is just going to take way too long. Now after that, we're going to try a brand new weathering process. Now I don't know if you guys saw in one of my live videos, I picked these rust and patina kits up from Hobby Lobby in LA. So this is going to be all new to me. It's trial and error. I don't know how it's going to go, but we just got to wing it. So the first step is I want him to look rusty. In certain areas, on certain panels, or just all over, especially the head, because I really want the whole form just to unify and match up as one in terms of weathering. So what you do is you lay down your primer wherever you want it to go. Once that's dried, you then put an iron cover over, and then you spray the rust effect on. Now this activates the rusting process with these two paints. After that, I want a patina look, like an oxidized look, as you guys can see right there. If majority of R2 is now copper and brass, that is what's going to happen if you're exposed to moisture and dry heat and just unprotected metal. That's what's going to happen to it. So again, we've got a primer, we've got copper, and then we've got the spray that activates the patina. So I'm really excited about this. It's going to go one way or the other, but either way, we're going to learn something. Okay, now that the first weathering stage is complete, it's time to move on to the oxidizing and patina. As you can see here, I've done some tests right around here, and this stuff works amazing. So you've got to place it in areas where there will be oxidization, a lot of moisture. I'm thinking around the perimeter here of where his head constantly turns. Also these vents here, there will be some oxidization around this chip here, just in random places. So I'm really happy how this is turning out, guys. As you can see here, this has become a bit more uniform with the rest of the body. I kind of just wanted to be like, just like I said, it's like a throwback to the original R2. There is still remnants of him still there, apart from just going all steampunk and copperish. As you can see right there, it kind of leaves it a bit bland. If I cover that up, it kind of just looks a bit bland, whereas this kind of just breaks it up a little, but we still want that weathering to all be uniform. So next up, we've got the copper color. Then once that's dried, we're going to spray the patina on, and that will activate the aging process, as you can see right here. Alright geeks, I'm calling it a day on the weathering process for R2. I mean, look at all those beautiful patinas. It's just come up a treat. I don't want to show you guys the full body of him. We'll wait till the reveal, but man, this stuff is amazing. Do wear a mask if you guys are attempting to use this product, because it is kind of stinky. I think obviously the paint itself does have metal powder in it. That's how the patina activates. So next up, we've got some accessories. So I've got this idea that he's like traveling the desert with this bandolier belt. So this is like the shoulder pad that's going to rest over this shoulder here. And it's got this little bandolier with little potions and just trinkets he's picked up. So these vials here, these three were filled up with some food coloring, you see right here. And the final one is just filled with plaster powder. That's just Ultra Cal 30, like it's a little healing thing like sodium benzoate or something like that. This is also a little trinket thing here. This is just dirt from my driveway, believe it or not. So I just want this to be wacky and kind of just outlandish. So it's something so different. Now all of these accessories were purchased from Hobby Lobby minus the leather. This is just spare leather I've had lying around. So I have started the whole bandolier process. So it's just a matter of lying it down, threading this over it, gluing down that part, and vice versa until you get a bandolier. Then I'll pop these vials out and weather up the leather. I'm going to use just some black spray paint, just spritz it all around and wipe it down and sand it back. Now this wheel here, I'm going to mount at the front because he is missing his little front wheel that he usually has. So this is just a crude wooden dole wheel I got from Hobby Lobby, and I use that same patina as this on the wood. As you can see, that lovely green there. And this is just an aluminium pipe that I've weathered with some copper paint. Where is it? There we go. Just some Model Masters copper paint. So I will be drilling a hole through here. I'm just waiting for the drill to charge and then just rivet it in place. Now, He's not going to be moving. We're going to permanently fix him to the base, much like my K2SO. And in terms of mounting it inside the base here, it's just, I'm going to bore a hole through. I'm actually going to do some leather wrap around here. He's a very crude looking R2, guys. Okay, very happy with how this belt is looking. A few more accessories. The token Steampunk octopus. Now, I do have to color this back a bit because this is how it came from Hobby Lobby. It's already oxidized. So I'm going to be placing him like so, just on the side like that. I will rivet it in using these loop tentacles here. So I probably will use the same patina as I have on the rest of the body, just so I can get a nice uniform look. Now I do have the monocle. This is going to get really silly. So it's kind of like as if, you know, his lens is scratched and damaged and he needs a monocle to see properly. So this is how it originally came from Hobby Lobby. It's the randomest thing ever, but my god, it works really, really well. And I also have a pocket watch. Now, I'm going to get an old vintage photo of C-3PO. I'll see if I can find a steampunk C-3PO and put a photo in the pocket watch, just so it's like a little reminder for him. This is so silly, guys, but I'm having so much fun with it. This is an extra strap that's going to go up this way, so it can house the chain for the pocket watch and the monocle. Okay, so I'm just crudely wrapping some spare brown pleather that I had lying around here just to give it a bit more ruggedness. So I'm leaving this part here exposed because this is the part that has to be put inside the base of R2. So I'm just charging the drill again, and we're going to get a drill head that's similar to this thickness, not the exact same, because you really just want to force it up in there. That sounds so wrong. Alright guys, it's time to glue the monocle on, and I had to use this primer pen, which you guys have seen me use before, because I'm gluing metal to polypropylene. Even though it is covered in paint, I still had to prime around here and also on the monocle itself. So I'm just going to be using regular Loctite, so fingers crossed this does work. If not, this is going to be very embarrassing. Huh. There you go. Okay, now that R2 is pretty much all complete, it's time to move on to the final step, and that is the base. Now, I'm going to be using methods that you guys are familiar with, but I'm also going to try something new to keep the theme of rustic steampunk. So I've got some MDF board here. It measures 45 centimeters this way. I'm also going to measure 45 centimeters this way. So it's going to be 45 square. Now, once it's been cut out, I've got some aluminium strips here. These cost about $3 from Bunnings Warehouse, and I'm going to be running them along and around the perimeter of the base itself. I'll be pop riveting and gluing them in place. Now, once the whole base is complete, I'm going to be going over with the same patina kit that I used on R2 to make this oxidized and rusted. Now the familiar part, you guys know that I use the product called Trail-On, which is a thickened resin, so it's used to create mother molds, but today I'm going to be creating an uneven surface. It's going to be a desert theme because this is the idea that R2 has been going through the desert for quite some time and he's picked up things along the way, but still keeping with the steampunk theme, with the aluminium around the side that has been oxidized and rusted. So the first two steps are cutting out the MDF. Then I'm going to cut these to size and pop rivet them around the perimeter. Alright geeks, the next and final step in this custom collectible is to weather the perimeter of the base here. Now we're going to be using the same patina kit that we used on R2 himself. So of course we've got the primer, copper, and the patina spray itself. And then once that's fully cured and the oxidizing process is done, we're going to call it a day. Now, whilst the patina is drying in between coats, I went ahead and I did a little makeshift oil leak. See if I can get a close up on that. So there's the oil leak there, and it kind of drips down to there, and drips down around the back. And there's like a little drip mark there. That was done by getting some Rust-Oleum flat black and just going as close as you can with the can and just lightly starting to spray it, and then it'll start to pool and drip like an oil leak. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I am so happy with the end result of this guy. It's wacky, it's silly, it's getting your creative on at its best. Now, usually I'd say, you know, he's for sale on my Etsy store, but I am just gonna limit him to shipping within Australia. So if you guys want to contact me privately and you're in Australia, if you are in Sydney or New South Wales, that's even better. You can contact me at cosplaychris@gmail.com. I don't have a price in mind, just hit me up with an offer. Just be reasonable, I guess, because I don't want to ship him worldwide. First and foremost, I get really worried about him traveling along the way, whether or not he'll get damaged, because I do know the Postal Service love to play soccer with my boxes. That sounds really bad. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic week. This Thursday, I'm flying down to Melbourne for Supernova this coming weekend. I can't wait. Gonna get some great footage. So on the Saturday, I'm gonna be Captain Boomerang, and on the Sunday, Pirate Batman. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are happy. Be merry, be silly. And until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.